All right, let's flip it now to Shedeur Sanders. I thought the game was kind of a microcosm of the two. I think Deshaun might be your slow and steady wins the race guy. I think with Shedeur, what you're going to get is boom or bust. Some nice down the field throws, really nice downfield throws. But he also had the characteristic sail ball for the pick. And when you look at the QBR, that's kind of where he was last year. Did he meet or exceed your expectations, G. Bush?
Yo, Cleveland, we got a problem. Shedeur Sanders just took the field for his very first preseason snaps as a Cleveland Brown against the Chicago Bears. And what happened next has the entire NFL world split right down the middle. One camp is saying this kid is the truth, the future, the guy who's going to save this franchise. The other camp, they watched the exact same tape and walked away with a grade that is going to make you sick to your stomach. A C. That's right, a C, right next to Deshaun Watson's B in the same competition, same night, same stadium. So which is it? Is Shedeur Sanders the real deal, or is this whole thing overblown hype crashing into NFL reality? Stick around, because by the end of this video, you're going to understand exactly what happened out there, the good, the bad, and the ugly, and why this quarterback battle in Cleveland just got a whole lot more interesting.
Actually, so first of all, I give him about a C. It could have been higher than that, but for people to talk about the interception over the middle, it was the correct read. I went back and watched it. Chase Daniels talked about it a little bit, and Chase was talking about, hey, the ball was wet. But I'm like, listen, I can't give you that, bro. It is what it is, bro. We live in Cleveland. It snows, it rains, we outside. If you're going to say the ball slipped every time you threw the ball, that don't count. Like, so that's on you. You sailed the ball, that's an interception. But you got to give, that's on your CD. But I do think you saw the microcosm, the difference between what Shedeur Sanders offers, compared to what Deshaun Watson gave. The thing that I like is the fact that he's going to.
Let's set the stage first, because context is everything here. The Cleveland Browns are in the middle of one of the most talked about quarterback competitions in the entire league. On one side, you got Deshaun Watson, former #1 overall pick, former franchise centerpiece, a guy who has not played a full, healthy season since 2019. Let that sink in for a second. 7 years. In NFL years, that's basically a lifetime. On the other side, you got Shedeur Sanders, the kid who fell in the draft, who's been under a microscope since day one, who's got the last name that comes with impossible expectations attached to it. So when these two quarterbacks took the field in this preseason opener, it wasn't just a football game. It was a referendum. Every throw, every read, every snap was getting dissected in real time. And that's exactly what makes this debate so explosive. Here's where it gets real. When the analysts sat down after the game to hand out grades, Deshaun Watson walked away with a B. Shedeur Sanders, a C. And look, before you get defensive, before you start typing angry comments, hear the reasoning out, because it's not as simple as Shedeur played bad. The #1 thing that dragged that grade down was one single play, an interception thrown over the middle of the field. Now here's the twist that's going to surprise you. Multiple analysts who broke down that exact throw came away saying the read itself was actually correct. Shedeur saw the coverage, he made the right decision pre-snap, but the ball just sailed on him. It got away. And listen, conditions weren't perfect either. It was wet, it was Cleveland weather, the kind of night where the ball can slip right out of your fingertips. But here's the hard truth that every quarterback in this league has to live with. Excuses don't show up on the stat sheet. An interception is an interception, whether the ball slipped or not. That's on you. That's what separates preseason flashes from being a franchise quarterback in this league.
One of the things that we talked about was Shedeur Sanders and running backwards and his pocket presence. I thought he did a good job 2 or 3 times of just, hey, wasn't nothing there, find some way to get the ball out. I thought he did a good job with that, like that. And then with the cover zero look, He's showing that, okay, I can change the protection. I can flip up things. I can give myself some more time. And if it's cover zero, I can find the guy. So there are some things in Shedeur Sanders games that I really liked that got better. The pocket presence was better. Understanding when you need to go is better. I like the fact that he's identifying where he needs to go with the ball more quickly. But if you're looking at it, the goal is no turnovers. Now, all three quarterbacks had turnovers, but that the turnover is something that is going to go against you. So,
But, and this is a big but, not even close, because when you actually go back and watch this tape closely, you start to see exactly why so many people are still all in on Shedeur Sanders' long-term potential. This kid can push the football down the field. That deep ball, electric. There were multiple moments in this game where he stood tall in the pocket, extended plays, and let it fly, and when it connected, it was must-see television. He hit a big shot to Gage Larson right after halftime off play action that had the sideline buzzing. This is a young quarterback who is not afraid, who is not going to shy away from taking a shot down the field, even when the pressure's in his face. And here's something that doesn't get talked about enough. His pocket presence actually looked improved. There were 2 or 3 separate moments where the pocket completely broke down around him, and instead of panicking, instead of taking a sack or forcing a bad throw, he found a way to escape, reset, and still make something happen. Against a cover zero blitz look, which is basically defenses saying, we're coming after you, no help behind us, he showed the ability to adjust protections on the fly, buy himself extra time, and locate his guy. That's not something you just show up with. That's development. That's real quarterback growth happening in real time. Now, here's a comparison that's going to stick with you because it's blunt and it's honest. Multiple analysts are already calling Shedeur Sanders a mini version of Jameis Winston. Think about what that means for a second. Jameis Winston, at his best, gave you jaw-dropping, highlight reel throws down the field that made you jump out of your seat. But Jameis Winston also gave you those head-scratching turnovers that made you want to throw your remote at the TV. Boom or bust. That's the identity forming here with Shedeur, and it's exactly why this Cleveland coaching staff has to be careful. This offense, the way it's built, cannot survive on chunk plays and turnovers canceling each other out. There's no margin for that kind of roller coaster if you want to win games in this league.
but what I do want to have the comparison with, and I do want to see this thing through, is I want to see the apples to apples comparison. If you got Deshaun Watson and you saw what he did against the Bears, right? And you saw what he was able to do and it looked steady. But I want to see that same opportunity for Shedeur Sanders to come out here because I want to see, does it look better with better players? I want to see, I want to see at least Denzel Boston or Casey Concepcion playing. Hey, give me Isaiah Bond, give me some receivers, and make sure that we got enough linemen that you can get in there to give yourself a good look so you can actually see apples to apples, right? And also, I want to see what Deshaun Watson does.
Now, here's where the real controversy kicks in. And honestly, it's a fair point that deserves way more attention than it's getting. A lot of people watching this competition are pointing out that Deshaun Watson got to operate with the starters, real receivers, a real offensive line, guys who are going to be on this roster in September. Shedeur Sanders, on the other hand, was out there working with backups, guys fighting just to make the 53-man roster, guys who might not even be in the league in a month. So the question everybody's asking is simple. Is this really a fair fight? Until Shedeur gets his shot with the same caliber of playmakers, the same offensive line, the same top-tier receivers, can we really say this competition has been settled? A lot of sharp football minds are saying no, not even close. They want to see the true apples-to-apples matchup before anybody starts writing Shedeur Sanders off. So where does this leave us heading into the next preseason game against Buffalo? Right now, if you're being brutally honest, Deshaun Watson holds the edge based purely on what's shown up on tape so far. But this competition is far from over. Shedeur Sanders is going to get more live reps, more joint practice work, more chances to prove that this was just a rough night, not a preview of what's to come. And let's be real about something else, too. The expectation bar wasn't just to meet expectations, it was to blow them out of the water. Given everything that's been said about this competition, a stat line like a couple hundred yards, a touchdown, and 0 turnovers, that's what would have silenced every doubter in America. He didn't get there this time, but the flashes are undeniable. And in a league where quarterback development takes time, one rocky preseason outing does not define a career. Most signs are pointing toward Deshaun Watson opening the season as the Week 1 starter, but with a big asterisk attached to that. Health has never been on his side these last several years, and this coaching staff is going to be watching every single snap closely. If Shedeur Sanders keeps stacking these improvements, the pocket presence, the anticipation, the deep ball accuracy, this conversation is far from closed. So, let us know down in the comments, after watching this breakdown, do you think that C grade was fair, or is Shedeur Sanders getting judged way too harshly, way too early? Drop your honest take below, because this debate is just getting started. And Cleveland fans, you already know this quarterback battle is about to get a whole lot louder. If you enjoyed this breakdown, hit that like button, drop a comment with your prediction, and make sure you hit that subscribe button so you never miss a video breaking down every angle of this Browns quarterback saga. We'll see you in the next one.